dropped the whole family off, and now I'm taking this car to its natural habitat, which is, of course, the airport. And you guys are probably all going to be like, oh, what do you mean airport? This is not a taxi. But let's be honest, these MVPs, they were designed as a taxi, as a luxurious people carrier. This is what they were designed for, really. You know, carrying VIPs around and stuff like that. And so I guess during my drive to the airport, we're gonna cover a couple of topics that I have been thinking about and that I saw a lot of people talk about as well. There seems to be a bit of a confusion, and I guess I'm opening a can of worms here. All right, let's start with the first thing. Majority of these vehicles, they were VIP carriers. They were designed to carry people from A to B in extreme comfort. And only a small portion of these vehicles, when they were new, were really bought by private individuals. Now, this brings me to the next topic of the mileage. And let me just tell you first thing first, right? I am a very multicultural individual. And I've traveled quite a bit, and I know that outside of the UK, people don't really look at the mileage as much as people in the UK do. Honestly, almost every other buyer in the UK is obsessed with low mileage car. Like, there's so many things about having a low mileage car, which is I understand, right? People want a new car. People want that feeling that it's fresh, that it's new, low mileage, hasn't been used much and stuff like that. I understand, yeah, if you're buying something like a Ferrari, right, that's going to appreciate in value. But there are always red flags when you're trying to buy a low mileage car that wasn't necessarily designed for it to be low mileage, if that makes sense. Now, what do I mean by that? What I mean is that if you are looking at the market for a Volvo, let's say a Volvo, I'm just going to use a Volvo, and I'm going to use Toyota Prius, and I'm going to use Lexus RX 400 or 450h, the hybrid versions, right? If you were to look for these cars in the market today, you'll have extremely hard time finding something below 100k miles, right? There are some few examples in the UK. These cars are UK registered, of course, but the majority of Toyota Prius, they were all taxis at some point of their lives. Now, I'm not talking out of my area where the sun don't shine. Believe me, guys, I have been in the car industry for a long time before retiring from that venture. And I have seen a lot of things, right? And touch wood, I'm going to touch the steering wheel here. This looks like it's wooden, but touch wood, I haven't had many issues in buying and selling cars to date. Like, even as a private individual nowadays, if I buy a car from the auction, I sell it after driving it for like a year or two or whatever, and I've never had major catastrophes with these cars. But what I'm trying to say is that I've seen so many tricks at the auction houses in the UK, British car auction specifically. What else? I've been to Aston Barclays auctions as well. There's been so many other auctions that some of them are actually closed down because of bankruptcy. There was one in Letchworth motor auction, I think it was called, something like that. But anyway, I have seen cars like Toyota Prius being clocked, crazy clocked. I've seen Lexuses being clocked in the UK and sold through auctions, and I've seen Volvos being clocked, etc. So, without deviating from the topic, it's very hard to find these vehicles with low mileage, genuine vehicles, right? I'm not saying that it's impossible, but you're going to have a hard time doing so. Now, I have seen lots of posts of people complaining, be it post buying a car or before buying a car, that, oh my gosh, I ran a car VX check and this car has got an additional 20 or 60 or 80,000 kilometers on top of the original mileage. Oh my gosh, this car's been clocked, blah. Well, you know, you have to really use common sense when buying cars. These cars really, like my car is 2012, right? I honestly would not expect to buy a car with 50k miles from Japan from 2012. To me, immediately, it would have been one of the red flags. You know, I'd be thinking, no way, this car has lived like its life as a VIP and done very minimal amount of mileage. Again, I'm going to repeat myself here. It's not impossible to find a car with low miles, right? So this is why I specifically, when I was looking for a 2012 car, I wasn't using the UK mindset of, oh, I want to buy a really low mileage vehicle, etc., etc. I was using the mindset that, do you know what? I want to buy a car that's done over 100k miles, because that means a lot of the components would have been replaced that are needed to be replaced at 100k miles. And this car has been properly driven and, you know, no BS basically. That's exactly what I've done with this vehicle. I bought it with, I think, 152k kilometers, or maybe 151k, I can't really remember, but it was normal mileage for this vehicle. I know Toyota, I've owned Toyota Avensis, my dad owned a Corolla, and we've owned lots of Toyota vehicles in the family, and I know that these cars will outlive the earth. So really, having a high mileage car isn't really an issue for these vehicles. Same thing goes for Volvos. I know they like Volvos from 2002 to like 2010. They're still being sold with like 160, 180k miles in the UK. So these vehicles are built to last. So yeah, guys, if you are planning to buy a car, keep that in mind. There are a lot of people in the UK that clock their vehicles in the UK. So they may arrive on the boat here in the UK and they clock them because they replace the mileage and they replace the electronic odometer with by doing something to the ECU and messing about with it, and then clocking the car, and then when it goes through the first MOT, it'll have like 50, 60k miles, which is not true. So yeah, keep that in mind, guys. Do your research when buying a car so that you don't end up being burnt. If you're thinking of buying a car privately, I think, in my opinion, privately is probably the best way to import a vehicle. I mean, I may be saying this because I'm a bit of a car guy and I liked this whole process, even though it was a bit tedious and there was quite a bit of paperwork involved. But yeah, the whole process was quite cool and I enjoyed importing a car on my own, and it was quite fun, and I saved so much money, honestly. People like dealers in the UK, okay, they offer you some warranty, right? Again, this warranty is questionable. I'm saying this as an ex-motor trader, because I know there's quite a lot of shady garages that will not uphold their part of the bargain. You know, if something breaks down, they can't fix it, they'll just tell you to bugger off. You'll have issues, you'll have to go to the courts. By the time you go to the courts and file all your paperwork, that company is probably all closed off and started trading with a different name and all sorts of things. Believe me, guys, I've seen everything in this industry. You know, not only from the motor trade standpoint, but also I've worked in criminal law defense firm as my profession. And I've seen things like that happen all the time, where individuals try to pursue a claim against the company. That company is already wound up. All the files for bankruptcy and stuff. So yeah, good luck getting your 15, 16k back for a car. Try to avoid buying vehicles from shady garages in the UK. Do a lot of research before you buy a car. If you have someone who's, you know, a car guru, take that car guru with you upon inspection of the vehicle before buying anything from UK dealers. And even if they offer you a, you know, warranty, again, it's a little bit questionable. Warranties are all good and sound, but I'd rather use statutory rights that I have with the dealer as opposed to ringing the warranty place and trying to claim from them, because, you know, again, being legal, I know everything about small prints and insurance companies trying to get away and do anything possible not to pay the claim. Don't fall for the low mileage vehicles. You know, it's better to buy a high mileage car with all the huge portfolio of service history than to buy some low mileage car just to, you know, oh yes, to have it on your drive and be like, yeah, it's such a low mileage vehicle, amazing. Yeah, don't fall for that trap, guys. My experience and the reason why I wanted to buy a car on my own is because I wanted to save loads amount of money. I paid 9,600 all in, approximately 9,600 if I recall correctly, all in, on the road, ready with all the bits and bobs installed. 9,600 is very cheap for 2012 vehicle. Bear in mind it's flagship 3.5 litre V6 with four-wheel drive, and it's really nicely specced. Like, I've seen a lot of cars sold on Auto Trader and by dealers that are like poverty spec vehicles, very basic spec, no Ottoman seats and all that stuff, and you know, they want to have quite a bit of money. Let's do this. Up to 70 already. That was very quick. I mean, this car gives me, I mean, it's not rocket ship, spaceship like level, right? But it does bring a smile on my face from that V6 note. And that note is coming from the engine. I can hear the engine making that sweet note. So it's beautiful. I love it. I'm a car guy. I love this. Right, back to the topic, guys. So yeah, I saved quite a lot of money importing this vehicle on my own to the UK. I paid about 9,600 in total. And again, people are selling these for like from anywhere 14 to 16.5K for 350. This is a 350S model. It's got sportier bumpers, which I really like, more than just the basic bumpers. Just looks very good and quite nicely specced again. So when it'll come to resell this car in the future, I know I'm going to fetch about 14 to 15K privately because of the spec, the looks, and the history as well. And yeah, I saved loads of money. Back then when I calculated and I found some similar spec vehicles, same class, kind of same mileage and stuff, yeah, they were selling for like 15.5, 16. So yeah, I saved quite a bit of money, about £6,000 to £7,000 when I did my calculation back then. So that was quite good. Ooh, the RS6. Or is it an RS4? You really can't tell the difference. I think it's an RS4 actually, driving quite quick. Yeah, so yeah, buying this car on my own, that was really, really good. Good process. Pacific Coast Autos, can't talk, I need more Red Bull. Pacific Coast Autos, that's it. Now, why would someone try to undertake me from the left-hand side? I was overtaking this guy, and now he's decided to undertake me. What a joker. Anyway, I haven't been driving these vehicles, so I need to take the left now to A11. Now he's undertaken me, and now he's slowing down. This guy, honestly, probably needs to hand his driver's license in. And it's what Don't know what got into him to accelerate and undertake me. Anyway, yeah, so it was quite a nice process. Pacific Coast Autos, they were very good, very smooth transaction, and yeah, at the end of the day, I saved loads of money. This is what I wanted to do. I didn't want to give my money to dealers, even though you have good dealers. Like, there are good dealers out there, honestly, and there are dealers that will sell you very good cars. So let's talk about fuel consumption, because I've had quite a lot of people ask me, what's the fuel consumption of this? So let me have a look. I've been driving 70 miles an hour now. I mean, let's do a proper review of how many, on average, how many kilometers per liter this vehicle does, because that's how it calculates it. So at the moment, on average, and I've been driving in the town, start, stop, you've seen my drive. It's showing me that I'm doing 9 kilometers per liter on average. For this vehicle of this size, bear in mind it's petrol, right? For the vehicle of this size, it's really amazing. Now, I have been comparing diesels, right? So like Volvo XC90 diesel, I've been comparing some vans like, I think it's called Vivano or Vito, Volkswagen Transporter diesels as well. There's a, I think T5 Transporter, if I'm not mistaken, as well. But anyway, the MPG that you get from diesels is 6 to 7 miles per gallon, 6 to 7 miles per gallon more, and that's UK miles per gallon, than this car. And this is petrol. So like, and this is more spacious than an XC90, and this is more luxurious than a Transporter, and this is more luxurious than a Mercedes, much better and much reliable, because honestly, having owned loads of German cars, they've all been unreliable in one way or another. So the trade-off for having, like, you know, 9.1 kilometers per liter, as opposed to, I think, I don't know, how much is that? 23 miles per gallon in total? Something like that. I think it's amazing. Honestly, the economy here, I don't know if people expecting it to be like 50, 60 miles per gallon. Honestly, if that's your expectation, this car is not for you. You have to balance the luxury, reliability, you know, everything, the spec, and, you know, economy. So Toyota made 3.5 litre V6 their flagship vehicle for a reason, because, you know, the hybrid, I guess it's good for city driving only. Like, it's extremely underpowered. And no matter what people are going to say in the forums, on Facebook groups and all that stuff, 2.4, I think it is, with a horrible CVT gearbox. I mean, I've had CVT gearbox in the Lexus RX 400h. I couldn't stand that whine, like constant whine. And even though the gearbox was good, I just hated this soulless feel of the CVT gearbox. And if I'm not mistaken, there have been some issues with the CVT gearbox. Maybe it's on the 10 series, not 20 series. I really can't remember right now, but I did see quite a few posts on forums about CVT, and, you know, people wanted the proper 6-speed manual, which is what this car has. So yeah, it's the flagship, and the 2.4 hybrids really underpowered. And I've seen some people say that can't see any vehicle on shoulder here. I've seen some people say that they have been towing vans or something like that with their 2.4, like, and they were saying, oh, it's amazing. Honestly, it's not amazing. Like, 2.4 is like almost dying. Again, 2.4 is used for short runs, city driving, not really on motorways, not really on the hills. It's quite underpowered, guys. I'm sorry. Like, These are the facts. If you don't believe me, go and research. Have a look at the numbers, towing capacity, and the MPG that it does, etc. It's if you want to tow caravans or whatever, get a 3.5, because that vehicle, you know, and get a four-wheel drive really for towing, because that's a powerful engine, and it's less stressful on the engine as well, and you know, less likely for something to go wrong. And yeah, it's so smooth. This engine is so smooth. It's a very common Toyota engine. I think it's used in some of the Camrys. It's used in the Lexus vehicles as well. Yeah, it's very common engine. It's actually used in Lotus Evora, I think, or Emira. No, I think it's Evora. Yeah, it's really reliable engine, really good engine, smooth, no issues whatsoever. Mechanically bulletproof. That's what it is. With respect to the gearbox as well, very good gearbox, silky smooth. Honestly, silky smooth, no judders, nothing. Even my Volvo V60, I felt like a bit of judder, like slight judder, you know, when it shifted gears. It wasn't faulty, but yeah, this car, nothing at all. Smooth ride. So much so that my daughter gets seasick, because it's like being on the boat here, you know, being in a luxurious yacht. Yeah, what else? So the four-wheel drive. I have seen lots of people say, you know, oh, I'm afraid about the issues with four-wheel drive, so this is why I'm avoiding it. Guys, look at our roads. Most of the times, probably like 90% of the times, our roads are damp. There's rain. If you live up north, you may stumble upon snow. Four-wheel drive is the best thing. Not only for safety, but for acceleration out of the junction. If you live like me in the countryside, then accelerating out of junctions is really good. You know, when it's very busy and you really need to bolt. Right, I'm gonna go right here to let this vehicle in. And I think I'm supposed to go left. I nearly missed. No, actually, I'm supposed to go straight. Show me that I'm supposed to go straight. Yeah, Stansted, I can see it now. Yeah, so coming out of busy junctions, when it's very busy on the A roads, honestly, four-wheel drive, never skipped a beat, never gives me any wheel spin. I've got some Yokohamas, quite good tires, Blue Earths they're called. They're not performance tires, but they're very good. I actually bought some Blue Earths for my Volvo. I know Yokohama brand from the Gran Turismo 2 days. Always used to get Yokohama rims in the Gran Turismo game. They're a very good Japanese brand. So, yeah. I've seen people say, oh, should I get front-wheel drive? And some folks say, yeah, get front-wheel drive. You'll have no issues if you fit really good tires. Partially true. Yeah, partially true. But bear in mind, you know, if you have lots of power coming from front-wheel drives, if you're opting for the 3.5 280 ponies version, you're bound to have wheel spin. You are bound to have wheel spin. I had some Continentals on my previous V60 Volvo. Yeah, very good, very highly rated tires, and I've had wheel spin on those. So yeah, you're bound to have wheel spin. A lot of people also said that, you know, they went on some fields like campsites and stuff, and four-wheel drive does an extremely great job in climbing some steep hills, like, you know, when the surface is grass. No issues at all climbing these wet, damp grass hills, whereas you'll struggle in front-wheel drive Alphards that has all the weight at the front and all the drive at the front as well. So, and again, I when I did my research, go right and let this fan in. When I did my research, I did not see any issues with the mechanical diff at the back that sorts out the the rear wheel drive differential, I think it's called. I'll try to put the description in the video. The rear axle, basically, transaxle mechanical diff thingy. Yeah, so no issues at all. It's a Toyota. Like, honestly, I would not be expecting for Toyota to have major issues. I owned quite a few Toyota diesels, Avensis diesels, never had any issues at all. I've owned a Lexus IS 200 with an extremely underpowered 151 horses, 2-liter straight six diesel, petrol engine. Never had a single issue with that Lexus. I've owned an RX 400h. Again, the only issue I had was just, wear and tear, radiator, brakes, that's it. So, yeah, I don't expect much issues from this vehicle as well. I'm going to sort out the front, the issue that I'm having at the front with the, I think it's the steering column bushes or something like that. I've seen quite a list of things that it can be. So I'm hoping to take this car to one of the guys who's based in Birmingham. He is a very good guy. I heard about him. Ben, his name is Ben Howe, I think. I've contacted him a few times and I saw him reply to some of the Facebook group comments. Right, let's join this. Yeah, I saw him reply. He's a very knowledgeable guy, so I'm hoping he can fix my car and do something with the front so that I can finally avoid this kind of noise that's coming out from the front. It only comes out, if I keep my steering wheel straight and drive kind of below 40 miles an hour, you hear this like coming from the steering wheel column kind of area, I suppose. But I can feel it. I can feel it like playing around here. And it's one of the most common issues with these heavy vehicles. So yeah, gonna sort it out next year during my next service. Yeah, that's what I'm planning to do. So what else can I talk about? Let me think. Let me have a Red Bull and think what else I can cover for someone who wants to buy this car. Let me think about the issues. I think one of the issues that I found is the xenon lights. On my car, they're horrible. And my guess is because I probably need to polish the front lights. They don't look as good. And I think one of my the lens that covers the headlamps, it is quite like cloudy. So I'll need to sort it out. I'm going to be posting a video of how I sort this lens out. But not only this, I think that my xenon lights, they are due for a replacement because I have no idea, honestly, I'm guessing they're probably even original. I've had vehicles that run on original xenons and I can feel, I can see that they are, when you turn the lights on, I know that xenon lamps, they kind of go from like darkish kind of bluish tints, like, dark blue and then kind of purplish, and then it goes into like bluish, light blue color. I had similar on my Phaeton before they started dying. So I know that, my Volvos and other BMWs and other vehicles, when I turned on the xenons and even the Lexus, it was just like slight tint of like darkish purple, and then straight away, bam. You can see they warm up very quickly. And these ones, they warm up, take a bit of time to warm up. So I'm guessing they are quite old. And maybe this is why they're not shining very well. But also, I've seen a post recently. Let me go right, see if I can overtake. Thank you very much, Volvo. Yeah, I've seen a post where a person in this 10 series and 20 series, two folks actually, showed the brightness, and their xenon were like, wow, almost like LED bright. But the coverage is very minimal. It doesn't go as far as other cars do. So I know they have, you know, this straight line projectile, kind of like it projects in a straight line, so you don't need to worry if you drive into France. You don't need to apply any stickers because it's all straight. It doesn't go like, you know, if you buy a car in the UK, one of the sides, I can't remember if it's right or left now, it goes like slightly less so that it doesn't dazzle the vehicles. I think it's probably right side. But yeah, you don't have the issues like this on this car, but the coverage is very minimal. It's like stops very short at the front, which was quite surprising. So I'm hoping when I upgrade the lights that you know, I'm not going to have an issue like that. Yesterday I drove the car on extremely dark countryside roads, and honestly I have been struggling. I have been struggling driving it. Like, I've had my high beams on all the time, but I've been struggling, you know, to see anything with low beams. It's very, very, very poorly lit. Yeah, very poorly covered xenons. And again, I don't think it's a car fault per se. I think it's just my xenons are crap. Another thing, while we're talking about lights, I have the automatic high beams. Honestly, I don't think it's a very good system, because sometimes when I've been driving on the countryside and out of the blue you have some road sign that reflects the light, all of a sudden the automatic high beams module decides, oh my gosh, let's turn the high beams off, because it probably thinks that a car is coming my way, and in reality it's not. And then it's like, gosh, you know, wow, amazing, great, thank you very much, now I can't see anything. So I found that it's not very intuitive. You know, when a car drives my way, it takes a bit of time to think, like, is it a car with a high beam on? Like, yeah, and then it kind of, you know, when the oncoming vehicle starts flashing me, and I turn it off automatically. So what I've been doing lately, I've been driving and, you know, put the auto high beams on, but as soon as I see a car, just switch the stalk back to turn it off, because I'm faster than the vehicle is doing the job. So honestly, guys, I'm not sure how I can control this, because I've installed a different multimedia system, which is amazing, really amazing. It cost me like 60 quid. I'll talk about it later on, but I don't have the car module interaction. So I think I may need to like plug in the OBD reader and download some software so I can play around with, like, you know, the automatic lights when they go on. For example, I've noticed, again, while I'm still talking about headlamps, that it turns on the automatic lamps on very late when it's, you know, very dark outside. So that's not something that I like. I like when it's a bit darkish outside, I like the lamps to turn on by themselves, and this one does not. So I guess that's one of the things that I dislike. And again, it's something that I need to play around with. I'm sure I've seen a post somewhere that people say that you can change the sensitivity level. I'm going to plan doing this soon. It's not on my huge priority list, but I'm definitely going to plan to do that sometime soon next year. I'm approaching some Japanese imported vehicle at the front. Let's have a look what it is. Looks like a Nissan from the... yeah, it's a Nissan Elgrand. Nice. I like seeing other cars on the road. Quite refreshing seeing more and more JDMs on the road. Looks quite nice. It's a 10 plate. But to be honest with you, I nearly bought one, but Alphard just looks a bit more appealing on my eyes. Actually, I did not like, and I know it's subjective, I did not like the way Wellfire looks of this era, but I love the way the Wellfire looks on the 30 series, and I don't like the way Alphards looks on the 30 series, as opposed to, you know, the 20 series. I like the 20 series Alphards more than the Wellfire. Yeah, but that's subjective. That's just the way I feel and the way I like it. So yeah, these are some of the things that's kind of like I've had slight issues with this vehicle. Yeah, the automatic headlamps. I need to sort that out and sort out my xenons. What else I can talk about? Well, I'm on the topic of things that I don't like about this vehicle. It's very hard to find some things that I don't like about this vehicle, really. Right, let's accelerate a little bit. Everything has been really well thought in the engineering and design department when they were making this car. Everything is so good. I love these armrests. I used to have them in my RX 400, and yeah, I love these armrests. I love the seats. They're comfortable. I did feel like the seats in the RX, for some reason, that they were more cushy, more comfortable. These are a little bit harder, but I do like it. I do like that it's a bit harder. I don't like it when it's way too comfy. What else do I like about this car, or don't like? Let me think. Oh, yes. Yes. The cruise control. So the cruise control on this car, let me turn it on. It's over here. I've got a stalk here. So I'm going to turn it on now, and you do set. So, and it doesn't turn on because I'm driving 72 miles an hour. Now it's kicked in. And let's have a look at my nav. It's showing me 67, 68 miles an hour. And I really like to put my sat nav at 70, 71, 72 miles an hour. 68, to me, a little bit too slow. That's just my opinion. I'm used to driving 70 or 72 because, let's be honest, when you drive 70 miles an hour, that doesn't mean that you're actually doing 70 miles an hour. When you drive, let's have a look. So I'm driving 70 now. Let me report something on Waze really quick. Report it. So when I drive 70 miles an hour, it's showing me on the speedo that I'm doing 68 on the GPS. So, and this is why if I drive 72 miles an hour, the GPS is telling me that I'm driving 70. So I know that speedos are always, you know, they don't always tell you the truth. But this is why, you know, if I'm driving 70 here, it's showing me 68. And ideally, I'd want to put 72, so I'm at least 70 or 71 mile an hour. But it's not a huge deal breaker. The cruise control, believe it or not, it's not a very common option on these. And I've seen loads and loads and loads of cars being sold in Japan without cruise control. For me, it was a no-no, even though I don't drive on motorways anymore. I really wanted that option, you know, just because I wanted that option. That's it. So, yeah, 68 mile an hour is the cap on Japanese roads. Every single car that has a cruise control is capped, and it's very hard to alter this. You have to mess about with the ECU, which is not something I want to do at all, and I'll just leave it like that. I like leaving stuff original, really. And yeah, so I'm 12 minutes away from Stansted Airport, and it's showing me that on average, while I was doing 70 miles an hour, I have been doing 9.7 kilometers per liter. That is amazing, really amazing. As you can see, most of the times, I mean, you know, I'm not thrashing it here. but it automatically puts in eco mode. Yeah, which is something that I like. Right, I remember something that I don't like. Another thing that I don't like is this area here. This area here, you cannot alter, you cannot make it like less brighter. I'm talking about these blue things here down below. They are so blue, honestly, so bright at night. Oops, a bit harsh acceleration here. They're just so extremely bright that it really hurts my eyes. Let's go. Up to 70 mile. Ooh, this is what I like about this vehicle. So quick when you need it to be quick. Right, I need to go to Stansted Terminal, which is right. So yeah, this area here, when I'm driving at night at absolutely pitch dark countryside roads, honestly, it's just way too bright for my eyes and for my liking. Really dislike it, and there is absolutely no way to make it dimmer. Yeah, sat nav you can. The speed, the clocks here, you can make it dimmer, but unfortunately not this area here, which is quite weird because on most cars, when you change the, let me turn on the room lights here to make it more cozy. But yeah, when you change the the clocks to make it dimmer, the whole like center console usually goes dimmer as well. Not in this car, unfortunately. Go on, go. Yeah, so not on this car, unfortunately, which is quite a bummer, really. And that kind of concludes the things that I don't like about this car, which is not a huge thing, really not a huge thing. All in all, I'm extremely happy about this car. It's very good. Has been very reliable, very easy to drive. My wife drives this car. We fit the whole family without any issues. It's a joy to drive. You don't get tired when you go on a long journeys. Really a pleasure, very comfortable. Everything is so good. I enjoy driving this car a lot, and I enjoy it even more so because it's a bit punchy, this car. It drives very well. It's a bit punchy. It accelerates fast. It drives like a car, even though it's a MVP. I'm not going to call it a van anymore. It's a luxurious MVP or a minivan. That's what it is. But it drives like a car. It really does. And, because I'm a car enthusiast, I always thought when I was looking for this car at the auction, I was like, please have an HKS supercharger and bigger brakes, please. And yeah, unfortunately, I wasn't able to buy one with the supercharger. It would have been cool. I do love the whine of the supercharger and the extra power. It would have been so cool to have this, but I'm extremely happy with it being standard. No complaints whatsoever. Right, I am fast approaching Stansted Airport, and this kind of concludes my little video while I was driving to pick up my mother-in-law from the airport. Yeah. Again, I'm doing what this car is supposed to do. It's supposed to drive to the airport to pick up VIPs, and my mother-in-law is a VIP. Yeah. So it's a really good car. I really can't fault it. Great car. Do you know what? I love the fact that it's a unique car, right? You don't see many of these on the roads. I did see quite a few down south, but you don't see many of these on the roads. And a lot of people just look at the front like, what is this vehicle? Because the badge is really weird, but then they look at the back, it's like, it's Toyota. Ooh, how interesting. So yeah, guys, it is a Toyota. It's a very interesting Toyota, and I'm very happy to have found this car, really. All right, there seems to be a bit of traffic getting to Stansted Airport, and I hope that the parking, short stay car park, isn't going to give me a problem, really. I usually like taking shortcuts, but I'm not sure whether all of these guys are just going to the left. I'm gonna let this gentleman in. Go on, mister. Right, so yeah, it's just general traffic here. What else? What else? What else? Actually, while I'm talking, I'm not sure, guys. Let me know in the comment section if you are aware. But whenever I stop the car and I put it in park, just like a taxi, again, just like a taxi, because you know, if you've driven, if you've been a passenger inside like the cabs, our cabs in the UK, you know that when the car goes into parking, automatically opens up all the doors, like the lock. And I really don't like it. I don't like when, you know, when I stop and I put it in park, it's like opens up everything. I like a bit of security, and you know, if I stop somewhere, I don't want all of my doors to be opened straight away. Yeah, not something that I enjoy, but hey ho, you know. I hope that I can work this around, because I know a lot of cars have this setting where you can sort out the automatic locks and all that stuff. So I'm just hoping that I can work my way around when I'll play around with the settings to ensure that when I put the car in park that it doesn't open all the doors, because again, it's not something that I really like from a car. Look at this Mercedes. It's quite expensive. It's supposed to be luxurious as well, but honestly, it's not going to be as luxurious as this 20 series inside. It's not going to have first class airplane Ottoman seats at the back. And bear in mind, this is, my car is like, it's basic comparing to other spec you can get. There is a executive spec, I think, where they, if I'm not mistaken, I think that's what it's called, because I've seen quite a few actually on at the auction, where they get rid of the third row seats and they put massive Ottoman seats, so you have plenty of leg room, and then I think there is like a TV here or something like that. But yeah, it's like a super VIP level vehicle. You get different seats, you get heated seats and stuff. So my Ottoman seats, they're not heated, but you can get like heated cooling seats and lots of different options. Honestly, I wanted to have heated seats on this one, but because it came with partially cloth, it's got it's not cloth, it's what's it called, suede. So these are like partially clothy, suedey material, and because of this material, you know, you don't really need heated seats. I would have really wanted heated seats and cooling seats if it was leather, because gosh, in our UK summers, you stick. I remember, you know, driving to the office back in the day with leather cars, awful. You had to open up all the windows for the heat to get out of the car after you finish work, and yeah, my shirt used to like stick, sweaty back and all that stuff. And with the, you know, with these type of seats, you're not going to have this kind of issue really. So yeah, I'm glad I picked up suede. Honestly, guys, it has been very difficult picking the right spec vehicle. I could have waited the whole year by the time I picked every single option. So I had to kind of go with white, definitely white, because I did not want black color here, because it gets dirty. Like, I've owned dark vehicles, and gosh, maintaining black color, the worst thing in the world. So I wanted white. I wanted something that's four-wheel drive for sure. I wanted Ottoman seats. I wanted dark interior. There has been loads of cars with beige, white interior, tanned interior. Absolutely no with kids. It would have been destroyed. My Lexus RX was kind of like grey, all grey inside. Got completely destroyed, so never again. Right, I'm looking for orange parking. I need to wait here. So yeah, absolutely no chance me ever getting this. So it had to be dark. It had to have options like automatic doors so that kids don't have issues opening doors, and that is one of the options actually. I wanted to have rear camera as well. Again, that's another option. A lot of cars don't have automatic doors, which I'm quite surprised about, but yeah, that's a thing. What else did I want to have? Automatic tailgate. That's another thing that I really wanted to have, and believe it or not, a lot of cars do not have automatic tailgates. Yeah, I didn't want, to struggle opening the tailgate. Right, we have arrived, so let me stop the sat nav. I've already seen that we're gonna struggle finding a parking space here. And I really, really, really do not want to park extremely close to someone. Yeah, this guy's doing circles now. I think I'm just gonna have to go like further down, basically. That's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna park further down. What is this person doing? Waiting. These guys are waiting here, probably to pick someone up, I guess. These are all disabled car parks. Yeah, so back to the topic. I needed to have quite a few options, and believe it or not, guys, it was very difficult to find the right spec vehicle with all these options and more, because I don't have all the options that I really wanted from this car, because it was just very difficult to find all the options. Again, I could have waited ages and ages for the right spec, and this is not something that I wanted to do. So, hey ho, that is that. Yeah, let's find a parking spot. I can see that a lot of cars are still looking for a space. A lot of cars are standing here because they just want to pick up someone. A lot of cars just waiting. Gosh, Stansted is really, really busy right now. And yeah, someone is coming out here. You see, this guy is struggling to come out. And this is not something that I want to do. I'm going to reverse this car in, because I remember how difficult it was for me to come out of here last time I parked here. I was going like zig, back front, millions of times. And I know parking with the back is not the best thing in the world, but I'll have to live. I will have to live. So I have an option, park left or right. I think I'm going to park left, better left, so that there's no cars there. And these guys got the doors open and everything. And this Land Rover parked his car really, really wide. I'm gonna try and park here.